Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video I want to talk about, well, basically when somebody doesn't take the time to learn things about their jobs, and especially like people who do this gig work, like me. I am officially allowed to go back to work today. I saw my cardiologist first time, and I said, can I go back to work? I said, before I forget, can I go back to work? Can I go back and do my physical therapy? And he said, if you feel like it, you do both. I am all for it. So he had read my chart. He knew what was going on. So thank goodness, because I'm telling you, I cannot stand not being out there doing things. I am not a sedentary type person. I like to be out, like to be going and doing, but I was not going to push this, since what they said is that I had heart failure. And he even said it that way. Instead of saying congestive heart failure, he said it's heart failure. But from what I understand, it's not. Both the ER doctor from 11 days ago, was it? And this cardiologist, they're both cardiologists. It's not. It seems like it's the beginning of it. The early warnings, the terminology just doesn't make all that much sense, really, from what I read. But to me, everything I would read would say it's like early. And what they said to me, to paraphrase, it's not something to get all worked up. It's a harsh name for it, but you see what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. And I ask questions. You think I'm going to be quiet? But so everything, they're going to run more tests. This one, the latest one's going to run more tests. But he said I can go back to work. So going back to work in order to get my health insurance. Remember, I live in Texas. I don't know what it's like in other states for affordable health care. I wanted to pay for it outright myself, and they said nope. The way you have to do it, you have to be working and show that you're out working, and there's so much more involved. So I had to have some job, and with edema, this is it. And the interesting thing today, he asked me, he said, how long have you had this edema? And I said 2 years, about almost 2 years. And he said, and it comes and goes? I said, no, it just stays. And he's like, And I don't know if that's when he said, or around all of it, he said that he was probably going to leave me on Lasix. I take daily, and he might bump it up, and he's going to add another one that works. And he explained that one. So, because I retained almost, I told him, something he asked me, I said, it started like 2 years ago. I started complaining right away, but it was this weight gain, almost 50 pounds. It was 1.2 or 1.8 pounds. 1 pound, almost 2, whatever it was, from being 50 pounds that I gained. 50. I mean, I'm complaining all the while. And they're just, crickets, responses to it, crickets, And he even said at the end of this, he goes, from now on, whenever anything bad happens to you, this was kind of funny. I know he may have been, he could have been, he doesn't seem the kind to be snide, but he says, when something happens to you, go to, and he told me which hospital. He said, don't go to any of the other ones. Because he knows, he can see, he read it, what was happening to me with the other ones. Oh my gosh, here comes Grumpy. Okay, and yes, I was talking about Adam. He has been so grumpy. I wonder what his family's doing. What are they up to this time? Is another one going to suddenly want to come here and spend some of his money? It's what happens, It really is what happens. Each and every time. Oh my gosh, he's so grumpy. He's trying to get the sprinkler system to come on. and I don't see it coming on, and he's saying he sees it, and I'm like, okay. It's right in front of me. It would be on right in front of me, right where you're looking. So, anyway, where was I? I'm happy because I get to work. Maybe that's why he's not happy, is I'm going to be at work and he's going to be home by himself. Yeah, that happens too. But no, I'm ready. I'm ready to be able to go back to work, get out of the house, do things, get some, my skin not look so sheet white. I look so white. It is unbelievable. So very white. Because really, this is March, going in the 3rd week of March. And, okay, walk in front of me. Okay. Now, you would think I'd get to come outside and have a little time to myself. Nope. Oh, my gosh. He is so irritating today. Oh, my goodness. He's the grumpy and he's irritating. But anyway, so... Where was I? What was I talking about? Oh my goodness, I cannot concentrate most of the time as it is already. I don't need extra distractions. But yeah, I was going to talk about people who are not. They don't take the time to learn something about a job, and then they make statements against that, like that is such a the people who are the bosses, let's say, they are stupid because of it. Well, you haven't taken the time to learn. You're being the stupid one. Really, you're being the stupid one. Whenever you haven't taken the time to learn the job. You just learn how to complain and make some money off of complaining. Because there are so many people out there that just love to hear somebody badmouth something. Somebody, someone, even themselves, they badmouth the whole audience after they've been doing this for a while, and they just, you people, y'all wanted, y'all, all of you, was it all of them? All of them said, oh, your audience said, hey, I want to know this and that and the other. I don't recall that. And then the audience saying, I just love your attitude. Maybe I need to start just put this as a video fail and make a video separate for all of that. Because it's just like, really, seriously. But the thing about it is I've been making videos about these e-beggars, strifters, swindlers, scam artists, scammers, con artists. I was going to get that right in a minute. And, and charlatans. I've forgotten the charlatans before, but I've been doing this for years. Now, making videos about them, like, go through a spell because I see one, and the things they do, it's like as if it's scripted. They don't do exactly the same thing. Of course, their own little individual situations. They might start off with a legitimate one, but when they see people start pouring money, throwing them money, yeah, some of them say, hey, this is a lifestyle. Yeah, and one of these days I'm going to get a new mount. These mount issues, because in Texas it apparently had changed. You can't put the mount on the windshield itself, and I had to get another one. Well, this one has never worked right. I have actually 3 sitting here, and none of them work right. One of my, it goes on my vent, so that wouldn't be right anyway. But then this one, it just, woe is me. But hey, can I use that as some reason somebody can pay me? And that's what I want to make that video of. Oh yes, because yes, this latest one has done the thing of being verbally abusive toward the whole audience and throwing temper tantrums and just so much anger and snarky, all that kind of crap and everything. And even took a day or so off, and came back and said, I've just not been right. I just haven't. Oh no. And then find a new problem. oh, they have a new problem, they can get some money off of that. Because see, really, they don't want to work. They think that they've done enough, and their audience should continue to pay for their lifestyle, the one they have created by e-begging and making so much money and bragging about it, and then going on vacations and, you know, doing things like getting their nails done and going out to eat with their friends and using that money, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, while their fans or their audience, the ones that are actually feeling empathy, are sending their last $2, some of them literally, the only $2 they can afford. But the scammer, the e-beggar, oh, they're going to go out and spend it all on fun things, buy groceries to get expensive groceries that those people cannot afford. And they're not feeling any empathy for their audience, the ones that only can afford $2. Like the one I remember, I was sitting there going, oh, really? Told him, don't you dare just send me $2. You know, somebody sent $2. They said, how insulting. You sent me $2? You know, and these are probably people who that's all they can afford. And they were giving their last little bit. Sick people who do that stuff. That's why I made that joke. Oh, my mount doesn't work. Oh, I can get eBay and get money off of that. And now, have you ever, 10 years I've been making videos, have you ever seen any PayPal or any of those kinds of things for me? Nope. No, you haven't. So, yeah. Okay, and since I know that in my life, I'm always judged by my own yardstick. I don't have any of those things, but if I did, you know, if there's, you know, something could come up. I'm the first person to say that, and I've said that in a recent video about a different subject. You never know what the future will bring to you. You don't know, some tragedy can happen, and maybe you're the person up there who has a legitimate thing. People have legitimate things going on. I have legitimate health issues going on, but I'm not asking anybody to pay for me. But if I did, nobody should really judge. If I did, I don't need it. Like I said, I'm working to get my, and I can work. I haven't been able to, but this, you know, I made sure I remembered to ask the cardiologist. It actually says it on the discharge papers, you know, to ask the cardiologist about this stuff. So I said, I'm going to remember these things that it said to ask my cardiologist. And did. I asked them all. And so yeah, like I said, I can go back to work. And like I said earlier, I wanted to pay for the insurance, but they said I can't do it that way. I can't pay the money out of my own bank account. I have to do it this way. So this has been the 3rd year. So yeah, the first year it was almost over really, and I didn't like it, so I canceled it. And then started the next year. So it's only a year and a half really. Something. And those, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, you know, I'm just, you know, I've been making videos once every year, usually once every year, about these people and what they do. And it's such a shame because I feel empathy for the people who are feeling empathy and not realizing that this woman or this man, I've seen men, the one before this one was a man, and they're just taking advantage of these people, you know, just taking advantage of them. And then they eventually start acting like I said, it's like scripted, all these different stages they go through, you know, not exactly the same. Some of them might skip 1 or 2, but then they might do something different at the end. But, oh, I'm just disgusted by it. Seriously. All these years of doing this, you know, and you feel empathy for the people who are feeling empathy and not realize they're being made fun of. They're being used. You know, they're being used, and they're being verbally abused by these people they're feeling empathy for. And like I said, many of them do actually start off, it's okay. And some of them, I remember when I first started hearing it, when I first started hearing people e-begging, electronic begging. They make videos and they say some harsh thing or something. But the first ones I remember hearing was one of them was about a radiator or something like that, but for their home. Their grandmother had so cold and she needed the radiator. But anyway, and then they went out and bought something else instead, some junk or something. And did their nails. How many have to do their nails? But other than that, the other thing was to say, in order to keep this channel going, please, you need to donate so much, donate some money so I can keep this going. And I would sit there and go, this is when I first started off, my original channel 10 years ago. Saying, what are you talking about? All you're doing is sitting in front of a mic, and they don't cost that much. I have one. And your computer, you already had that. And you're making videos, you're just talking. And somebody needs to donate money to you so you can do that. You have a full-time job. You're taking your own time instead of watching TV and doing this. How can it be something else? And go deeper into it. Like some of them are just like me doing it from their cell phone. But in order to keep it going, you got to donate money. Wow, really? I think I'm kind of getting worried about Adam. He's losing it. Where is he going? He's walking off with a box of screws and his electric screwdriver. Oh, there he goes into the backyard on the other side. Okay. Our dog, our pit bull, he enjoys tearing the boards off of the fence. And Adam does not enjoy going out there and fixing. Maybe Adam actually does enjoy that. Because, Adam retired a few months ago. And I got to do a whole video, I really do, about what it's like to be the homemaker. A lot of women have done stuff like this. When the breadwinner, in that case it was Adam, in my case, retires. How many times have you heard stories about stuff like that? Because it is a big change. Yeah, I can tell you, I started cooking when I was a kid. We had I had 4 siblings. I have 4 siblings still. And my parents, and for a while my maternal grandparents lived there after one of them got sick. And so all of us kids, we learned how to do things like cook clean, like cook the meals, seriously. And so I've been cooking probably 50 years. I'm 61. At least 50 years I have been cooking. Okay. And so I really, I cooked through all these years. I've known Adam for over 40. And for some reason, since he's retired, he seems to think that he needs to tell me how to cook. Dude, stay in your lane. That's his thing. He if I say something to him, he didn't like it, that he feels I'm overstepping, he'll say, stay in your lane. That whole, what was it, a commercial or something? Stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane. So he says that. So I do the same thing. When he comes and he knows how to cook something. Like one time he asked me, how do you make white gravy? People, don't we all know, if you've ever cooked home style, that is one of the toughest things to cook. For some people, it's the toughest thing to cook. But to teach somebody how to cook it, when they're not at all going to understand the first time, it is something that's tough. I remember cooking it when I was a teenager, 16 and 17. I worked in a place and we made home style. We flipped burgers and made home style too. And school thing, VOC was it called or whatever. You could work and all that. But I mean, we've made gravy. Was making gravy, white gravy. That's what they call it, white gravy, back then. And we all talked about how it's tough to cook, and no two people make it the same. It does not taste the same. But anyway, Adam asked me one day, and I think that was right before he retired, because he started working from home back in 2020, and remotely. He's a electrical engineer and a software, whatever you call it. But when he started working home, he asked me one time, how do you make that? Because he wanted to make it. And I'm sitting there going, oh boy, this is going to be fun. So he asked me, and I told him. He says, well, that's not what I saw online. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, well, then you just follow what they say and you do it that way. It's probably somebody who's like half of the age of how long I've been cooking. So, but I don't care. If they make a good enough white gravy to put online and teach the world how to cook it, hey, thumbs up. But for Adam's nerve. And then he and his niece would tell me things like, you need to put a timer on that. I said, I've never needed to use a timer. Both of them, by the way, she had never cooked before from what I understand from Adam, she had never cooked before she came here. Okay, and then he told her she needed to learn how to cook. And so she would go online and learn how to cook their food. Okay, from their country. And so he and the two of them ate it and ruined my microwave. It stinks like you would not believe. Yes. Never had that problem before. But anyway, they would make comments like that to me. And they just, okay, and yeah, they both had basically kind of started learning how to cook. Adam does not know how to cook. I mean, he cooked for himself before he met me, but from what I understand, one of his favorite meals was, and I'm being sarcastic, was that he didn't know that you microwave frozen French fries. So, anyway, yeah, I'm kind of saying all this in a little bit of a sarcastic voice, but imagine if I, and mine is kind of funny. Imagine if I was just dripping with this snarky, snarly stuff, just dripping, and so much anger and resentment, because I think it's funny. I laugh at stuff like that. I really do. I laugh, when somebody's going to tell me, because of the lack of logic. They're not very analytical, not very logical. When you tell somebody who's been cooking for 50 years that they need to put a timer on something, you see what I'm saying? This is literally how I feel it. I'm laughing because it's funny to me that somebody would say such a thing. And they don't catch themselves, and they don't think, that is kind of stupid for me to tell her how she should cook when I have never cooked before and she's been doing it for 50 years. Seriously. The arrogance, I'm telling you, that is the most narcissistic family I've ever known. Yeah. They have that collective narcissism. They're all brighter and they're all smarter than everybody. They really do have that. So, but I'm just going my own flow here. Anyway, maybe I should wrap it up. He's taking a break now. He's been walking around me. I need all that distraction. Yep. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye.